All right, what's up, y'all? Anderson Emerald here, and yesterday we already spoke about the Tokyo Seiko Golden Grand Prix as well as the Doha Diamond League. Previewed those. Sha'Carri Richardson opening up her 2025 season in the 100 in Tokyo. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce continuing on her 2025 season in Doha at the Diamond League tomorrow. But today, let's dive in and talk about the Adidas Atlanta City Games. This is going down on Saturday afternoon, and essentially you have every single top sprinter or hurdler who runs for Adidas competing at this meet. And this, of course, is not a traditional meet, it's a street meet. So they're running on a track that's built up as a 200-meter straight, and they're going to have everything from 100 meters, 200 meters, 150 meters. They'll have 200-meter hurdles, they'll have 100-meter hurdles, 110 hurdles. So they're going to have everything across the board when it comes to the sprints and the hurdles, including that 150. And like I said, everyone who's an Adidas athlete is going to be at this meet if they're not injured or if something is not going on. And that means that we're going to see Noah Lyles competing in the 150 meters, just like he's done every single year dating back to, I think, 2018 when the meet was in Boston was the first time they actually competed there. But let's dive in. Got a ton of fields here, as you can see. But let's talk about this men's 150 meters, as I don't know if Noah actually came out and said it. I need to cross-check, but this is being billed and hyped up as a world record attempt. Now, the world record in the 150 meters, of course, is held by Usain Bolt all the way back in 2009 out in Manchester in the UK. He ran that 14.35 second, with a slight, I think it just rained that day as well. Like, this was, of course, an immaculate performance for Usain Bolt, literally the GOAT of the sport. You also then had Tyson Gay. He ran this 14.41, which is en route to his 200 meter, I think, world record as well, right? 200 meter straight world record that he ran in 2010. And then Noah Lyles last year, also at the Adidas Atlanta City Games, he ran 14.41, so equaling that American record. Now, the track marks at Atlanta last year, they didn't count all the tracks, like, who knows? But at the end of the day, he was able to run that fast. So he's only, 0.6 of a second away from actually breaking the world record. Now, am I predicting that he's going to break the world record? I don't know about all that. I'm not going to say that he's going to be able to do that. Now, he does have the talent and the capabilities to do so, but the only problem is we haven't seen much from Noah Lyles so far in 2025. We did see him run the 4x1 down at Florida, and he also ran a 400 as well, his first ever 400. Check out the video that I did prior to that race where I was breaking down the combination sprinters, 100, 200, 400. He moved up the list, of course, but there's not much to go off of in terms of Noah Lyles right now. And not to say that in previous years, he's not run very frequently up to the point prior to the Atlanta City Games, but it'll be interesting to see how he actually does, match up in terms of the 150 meters here. He's going to have a lot of competition though, and I actually like the guys that he's racing against, specifically Alex Ogando. We know that Alex Ogando is in some great form because we just saw him at Grand Slam Track in Miami go toe-to-toe in the 200 with Dream Richards, eventually both of them running 19.86 seconds in the 200. So that means that Ogando is in excellent form. In previous years, Noah Lyles has raced guys like Zarnell Hughes, he's raced Fernando Munyala, he's raced Ariane Knighton, but I think that Alex Ogando, at least at this point in the season, relative to some of those other guys, is in great form to be able to push Noah Lyles. Now, this is Noah Lyles' meet. At the end of the day, like, he kind of like runs the show in terms of, the theatrics and like this, the final event and all that. So Noah Lyles not getting the win would be a big deal, but I wouldn't put it past someone like Alex Ogando actually beating out Noah Lyles. I'm not going to predict that. I think Noah's going to get the win, but it'll be interesting to see how close Noah actually does get to either surpassing this American record of 14.41 and getting close to this world record. Again, let me be clear. I'm not saying he's going to break the world record, right? I'm not going to predict him to break any Usain Bolt world record, but I do think that he's capable of it, specifically because the 150 is not a frequently run event. And because he's been running it year after year, that just inches him closer to, being able to maybe get closer to that. And who knows, that 400 meter race that he ran, that 45, that may speak to the strength that he's developed, the things that he's been doing in practice. And you don't know, he may be in better form this 14.41. So we'll see. But shout out to Noah, Alex, Terrence Jones. He also ran Grand Slam Track in Kingston. Omanyala, he's been coming off the Chinese Diamond Leagues and just qualified Kenya to the World Championships in the 4x1. And then Cheikhna Traore coming off the NCAA last year, NCAA outdoor champion in the 200, and now he's dipping into the professional realm, right? He was at the Olympics last year as well, but excited to see what is going to go down in this men's 150. Let's dip over to the men's 100. Again, this is all sprints and hurdles, so yes, listen, we got a lot. But Akani Simbine in this men's 100, he is obviously the favorite in this field. Listen, there's a strong field, but Akani Simbine is on fire right now. He was in China, absolutely dominating. He was in Botswana, dominated the 100. He went to China, dominated the 100. He went to the World Relays, dominated that anchor leg on the 4x1. Like, Akani Simbine is the guy right now. Check out the conversation that myself, Anson Henry, and Coach Rob that we had while we were in Miami. Of course, Anson is really on Akani, and it's hard for me to kind of bet against Akani at this moment. Now, I personally have Kashane Thompson being, my pick for the gold medal at the World Champs, but Akani Simbine is really running on all cylinders right now, and he realizes that he doesn't have many championships left in him. He, of course, is a veteran in the game. He's been, making finals since 2016 at the Olympics in Rio. He really wants to get on the podium individually in that 100. This is just another stepping stone towards that. So shout out to Akani Simbine. We're going to see how that, does translate. But Oblique Seville is in this field. And we've been seeing Oblique Seville really, show a lot of prowess when it comes to 100 in Grand Slam track. So he's going to really push Akani. And I love, this is one race that Oblique Seville loves to compete at. I think 2023, he won the 100 meters there. And then 2024, he won the 200 on the straight track running sub 20. Don't sleep on Oblique Seville as we see it here. We have Ariane Knighton coming up here as well. This is going to be his first open 100 race of the year. I think he's run a couple 400s. He ran the 200 indoors. This will be interesting to see. He was slated to go to World Relays. He, of course, didn't go to World Relays. He was originally announced for it, but we'll see if he actually does, not only compete here, but also what, his capabilities are, So Ariane Knighton is someone who is capable of running sub 10 seconds in 100. I don't know if he'll do it here, but it would be really dope to see him do it, get dragged by Akani and Oblique maybe, right? Then you have a couple other guys, right? You have Raheem Ford for Jamaica. Shout out to him. 2023 World Championship team. Kendall Williams, he's always been a mainstay over the past couple years. Cravant Charleston, 2023 US champion in the 100. Beat out Christian Coleman, Noah Lyles, and a couple guys to go to Budapest. He, of course, got injured over the summer prior to Budapest. He ran the heats at the World Champs in 2023, but then, he competed once in 2024, and then this year he's run a couple more races. He has a legal 10.16, I think, to his name this year. So we'll see if he's able to get back to that sub 10 performance, those performances that he's shown in the past, but who knows? Then a couple other guys, right? Udodi Onwuzurike, Terrence Laird. I've been seeing him getting back into some good form, and Kedrian Goldson, DeAndre Daly. A lot of guys who are in the mix here. Really strong men's 100 that I really, really do like. Step over to that men's 200. You see the name at the top, Wade Van Niekerk. World record holder in the 400. He is coming to the 200 here. He was slated to run last year at the Adidas Atlanta City Games. That's when I actually, spoke with him while I was down there in Atlanta, and he kind of famously said that, he doesn't even watch or track or like track. I mean, he likes competing, but he doesn't like follow the sport like that. It is what it is. Shout out to Wade, but hopefully he shows up here. This will be his first race since the Olympic Games in Paris last year, where he didn't run the 400. He actually ran the 200. He hasn't competed since then. So opening up in 2025, listen, Wade Van Niekerk is, of course, a veteran of the game. 2015, 2016, 2017 gold medal in the 400. But is he going to be able to show up here? Excited to see what he's able to do. Zarnell Hughes. Zarnell Hughes, in my opinion, is definitely going to run sub 20 in this race, in the 200. It's just a matter of how far below he goes 20 seconds. Now, this is a 200 meter straight, so he's very likely going to go even faster than he has been showing in Grand Slam track, running against Kenny B, against Oblique Seville, Fred Curley, etc., etc. But I'm interested to see how fast he goes. Zarnell Hughes is healthy this year. He's competing frequently. Of course, again, he's in Grand Slam track, so we've seen him in the 100 and the 200, but he wants to get redemption from injury in 2024. He, of course, got the bronze medal at the World Championships in 2023. This is another year. This is another World Championship year specifically. He wants to get back on the podium, right? Not going to, I don't know that, but he wants to get back on the podium. I put up a poll and y'all were like, Zarnell shouldn't be in the conversation. Like, come on, y'all. Zarnell might cook. So you're gonna see a couple other guys. Elijah Godwin coming off World Relays, ran some really strong splits on the 4x4. Dream Richards coming off that 19.86. He might be the guy to really just take this field apart. He just won $100,000 in Grand Slam in Miami. Dream Richards is the guy in this race right now. In my opinion, he is the guy. Then you have Antonio Watson. He's, of course, coming back from injury last year, but he's starting to get back into the fold, defending world champion in the 400. Sean Bailey, Josephus Lyles, Javon Powell, 400 meter runner, kind of dipping down to the 200. Excited to see how he does kind of progress. And then Demish Gay, Brian Lavelle from Jamaica. Excited to see what Brian's able to do. Excited for this men's 200. The women's 150. This is going to be, in my opinion, the Tamari Davis show. Everyone told me when I didn't predict her in that 100, for Grand Slam track, y'all told me that I shouldn't sleep on Tamari. Clearly in Miami, she proved me wrong, right? Tamari, this is her show, and she's shown up. I think in 2023 she won the 150 race there as well. I think she's really going to show up here. Now, I don't know if she's going to, break any records or anything like that. If you look at the all-time marks for the women's 150, she's all the way down in 13 with her 16.44. We did see Candace Hill last year run 16:30, which equaled the American record run on a straight. So you do have Allison Felix, you do have Florence Griffith-Joyner, as well as Ingrid Miller, but those are on a bend as opposed to a straight. So I don't know. I think that Tamari Davis is more than capable of running sub 16:30. I think she's more than capable of it, just based on what we saw in the Miami Grand Slam track meet, where she ran crazy fast in a windy 100, right, 10.7, and then she doubled back into 200 and ran a personal best of 22.04. Don't sleep on Tamari Davis. I'm not sleeping on her anymore, right? The other person I'm looking at here is Favor O'Feely. She also ran, pretty strong and consistent races down in Miami for Grand Slam track. So we'll see how she does kind of fare. Those are probably going to be my top two. Daryl Nita, she's been running in the Grand Slam. She hasn't been, in the form that we've seen in the past couple years, where we saw her getting 4th place at the Olympics in the 100. We saw her getting, 5th place in the 200, right? That's a form that we know Daryl Nita as, but we'll see if she starts to pick things up. She just switched coaches, right? She just switched, moving all the way from Italy down to Florida, new training group, new training environment. So I'm going to give her a lot of grace. Y'all have seen me make videos on Daryl, so I'm giving her some grace, but of course she's not at the level relative to some of these other women right now. But Ashanti Moore, she's always kind of been representing for Jamaica in different capacities. And then of course Kennedy Simon, she's one of the mainstays in previous years. So shout out to Kennedy Simon for showing up here. Women's 100, let's talk about it. We got Anivia Battle, world leader as of this recording, right? And, tomorrow, Shelly, you know what I'm saying? But Anivia Battle, world leader right now. She's coming off double 200-meter wins at the Diamond League in China. She's been on fire right now, and I wouldn't say that this is her race to lose, but she is in some really, really great form. Excellent form right now. Excited to see if she's able to surpass that 10.98 personal best that she set, or if she's able to maintain that range. Audrey Leduc for Canada, coming off the World Relays. Makai Briscoe, always a mainstay here, and she just ran a couple weeks ago the 100-meter hurdles. From dating, reminiscing back to her days while she was at LSU. She did the hurdles and the 100, so dipping back into the 100 here, but it'll be interesting to see how she actually does fare going forward. Will she maybe attack the 100 hurdles? I know she ran sub 13. Hurdles are tough, but maybe she's just gonna dump. Who knows? But shout out to Makai Briscoe. You have Chandler, you have Julian Lukenkemper, got the bronze medal in the 4x1 at the Olympics as part of Germany's 4x1. Kennedy Blackman, Mackenzie Long, showing up here. Gonna be some interesting coming off the Olympic Games in the 200 last year as well. Celera Barnes, it'll be interesting to see because Celera was supposed to go to World Indoor Champs in the 60. I personally don't know exactly what happened. Hopefully we'll be able to find out. You have Canberra Sturgis as well. So really strong women's 100-meter field. Actually, looking at it now, I'd probably say Anivia Battle is the favorite in this field. So yeah, definitely one to look out for in that. And then over to the women's 200, where lighter field, but you do have some, pretty strong names for the most part. Lena Irby-Jackson, coming off the World Relays. She ran some really strong legs on the 4x4s or on the mixed 4x4s. Tamara Clark, always a mainstay when talking about the 100 and the 200. So we'll see how she's able to perform here. Talitha Diggs, she recently changed coaches, right? She moved from Coach Mouse Holloway in Florida, and now she's training with Gary Evans, so in Orlando. So interesting dynamics in terms of her, changing training situation. Check out, Ready, Set, Go. They did a full interview with Talitha Diggs a couple months back. Nyesha Berger made the Olympic Games for Jamaica in the 200 last year. She's never one to sleep on. And then Aaliyah Abrams representing Guyana. She's always been at the championships representing for Guyana. Her country doesn't get much representation, but she is always out here representing. So those are overall the events in terms of the 100, 150, 200, but we got some hurdles. And the women's hurdles is the highlight here in terms of the hurdles, right? Tobi Amisan, of course, is the world record holder. We've seen her world record on the threat, right? We'll talk about that in a second, but Tobi Amisan is the world record holder. She's looking to get back on the podium, in 2025. She got the gold medal in 2022. She missed the podium in 2023, and she missed making the final at the Olympics last year. So she wants to get to Tokyo and get back on the podium. We'll see if she's able to really, get that momentum going in 2025. You have Kenny Harrison coming off running 12.4 seconds in Grand Slam track down in Miami. So she's in some excellent form. She also set a 100-meter personal best earlier this season. So don't sleep on Kenny and what she's capable of. Anna Hall. Anna Hall is going to be doubling in both the long jump and the 100 hurdles here. So we'll see how she kind of does balance things coming off the 400 hurdles and the 400 at Grand Slam track as well. So a lot of these athletes have been competing very frequently, which I really do love. Even despite the World Championships being in September, I love to see it. Megan Tapper, we just saw her again. A lot of these athletes have been in Grand Slam, which is interesting as challengers, but Megan Tapper just set a personal best in the 100. She's of course the bronze medalist from the Olympic Games in 2021, which seems like a generation ago, but listen, she's never to be forgotten. Nadine Visser, right? Akira Nugent just won the 100K at Grand Slam. Tia Jones just ran the third fastest time all time, 12.19 seconds in the 100-meter hurdles down in Miami. Like, listen, this is a stacked field. Grace Stark coming off running in China, coming off the World Indoors, coming off a consistent string of performances, outdoors, both in China and then also down in Florida. Grace Stark is in here, right? So you have Levin, you have Roswell. Like, this is a stacked field. I'm excited to see. Now, a couple others, let's just highlight the men's 110-meter hurdles, where Trey Cunningham coming off personal best of 13 seconds flat in the 110 hurdles, which he equaled this year. And then he also ran a personal best of 10.1 seconds in the 100. So Trey Cunningham is on one right now. He is on fire. You also do have Freddie Crittenden, Robert Dunning, Orlando Bennett made the Olympic final last year in the 110 hurdles. You have Michael Dickinson. So you have two guys who made the Olympic final last year in Orlando and Freddie. You have Trey Cunningham, who got a silver medal in 2022. Stacked field. Absolutely stacked field across the board. Excited to see the men's 110 hurdles. Of course, we don't see Grant Holloway here. This is another one. This is like his meet. He's always showing up here. Hopefully, Grant Holloway has the wild card to the World Championships, so he doesn't have to worry about things. Of course, there's been some setbacks, but Mike Holloway recently in I think on Athletics LLC, he said that Grant Holloway is going to be good, and I think he's going to be good. I'm not betting against Grant Holloway when it comes to World Champs later on this year. So excited to see that men's 110 hurdles. On the fields, shout out to the men's long jump. I'm excited to see, Mattia Furlani, Kerry McLeod, but specifically excited for Mattia Furlani, where he's coming off winning the gold medal at the World Indoor Championships this year. He is, of course, the rising star, when talking about the long jump. He's kind of like potentially going to supplant some of these other guys, who have been veterans, but you do have Kerry McLeod here, who is the World Indoor medalist from 2024 in the long jump. And then you also, not competing here, but you do have Wayne Pinnock, who is, one guy who's been getting silver medals, got the silver indoors behind Mattia Furlani, but I'm just saying that Furlani is going to have to watch out for some of these guys, but some of these guys are going to have to watch out for Furlani. So we'll see. Men's long jump, women's long jump. This field is pretty stacked. You're talking about Essa Brume. Essa Brume has medals from 2019, 2021, 2022, right? Like, she has long jump medals across the board year after year after year. Don't sleep on Essa Brume, representing Nigeria to the fullest. Quanisha Burks is in the mix here. Jasmine Moore coming off bronze in the triple jump and bronze in the long jump at the Olympic Games. First ever to do it in history, second ever to do it in history behind Tatiana Lebedeva back in 2004. Jasmine Moore, don't sleep on her. Anna Hall, again, like I said, she's doubling back here. And then Claire Bryant, world indoor champion in the long jump. Chantel Malone, she's in the mix here. So last one that we do have is Alison Dos Santos, 200-meter hurdles that he'll be competing at here. This is all about Alison Dos Santos. Like, he's essentially going to be competing, not alone, but I think that what's going to happen is you'll have him in the 200-meter hurdles facing the best, but he'll also have Caleb Dean, my bad, running alone. Now, Caleb Dean, Alison Dos Santos and Caleb Dean, they actually train together, when they do hurdles down in Florida. So that'll be interesting to see both of them. Then you'll see some high school athletes kind of fill out the fields. But Dos Santos and Caleb Dean, they'll be chasing the hurdles world best. The hurdles world best is 22.1. You do have 21.9 in terms of yards, back in 1960, but at least officially, technically, you have 22.1 seconds set all the way back in 2011. So it'll be interesting to see if Dos Santos is actually able to surpass that. We know that he's in excellent form. He's already run 47 seconds in the 400 hurdles this year. He's going back to Grand Slam for Philly in a couple weeks. Like, listen, we gonna see. And then he's going to Europe to compete with Karsten and Rai at Oslo and Stockholm. So listen, he's in good form. But Adidas Atlanta City Games, that's a quick overview. Of course, I'm gonna be down on the ground, getting some stories and some videos, but also, of course, getting some interviews with the athletes as well. But got some stuff coming out about kind of like a couple things. But yeah, stay tuned for that on the channel. But let me know what you think about the Adidas Atlanta City Games. Do you think that Noah Lyles is actually going to be able to, break the world record in the men's 150? Again, that world record is 14.35 seconds by Usain Bolt all the way back in 2009. Noah Lyles has run 14.41, so it's not extremely far-fetched, but do you think he's gonna get it? I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Always do appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.